everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Super Split Screen Brothers. Joining me, as always, is the Luigi to my Mario, Jared.
Hello, hello.
And today we have a very special guest. This man, he really brings the heat. I guess you could say he's a Bowser to our Mario Brothers.
Flame on!
Welcome, Jheat!
What's up?
Yes. So, this episode, it's going to be a good one. We got some hot topics for you. You could say that I have Forspoken. Oh, trust me, as soon as I saw like that pun came to my head so quickly, I was like, yes. But as always, let's start off by listing off what we've been playing. So for myself, I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a really good game. Jared, you really need to play that game. I think you'd like it. They try to go for like historical accuracy. It's like a open world RPG kind of thing. Imagine if Skyrim, but actually based off real history kind of thing.
That works.
Yeah, you really do need to try it. It's for all the major systems, so that's what I recommend. Jared, what you been playing, playa?
I started a New Game Plus playthrough of Gotham Knights, so I'm going through my second playthrough because I did New Game Plus because then once I get high enough, I can try out Heroic Assault. So I was like, all right, might as well. And I wanted to replay it again. And still been playing a lot of Agents of Anarchy. That game is so. Agents of Mayhem. That game is so good. And just some major Saints Row 4. So that's pretty much what I got.
Nice. Jheat, what about you?
Well, as you know, I've been doing my Sword Tour playthroughs on the channel, but I've also been playing some callbacks, like Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, the Sam Raimi games. I've just been very nostalgic lately. So
nothing wrong with that, brother. Nothing wrong with that. We are a retro-friendly show. I mean, look at like the background. I think the newest game is probably Witcher from 2007. So it's like
it's even the enhanced edition.
Yeah. So kind of blaze through the playing real quickly. Let's get onto the news. Let's get onto these hot topics. So first off the bat is a subject we probably should have covered last week, but that was my goof. Hogwarts Legacy. So guys, what are your kind of initial thoughts about the controversy surrounding this game?
I think it's entirely stupid, and people have to get a grip because J.K. Rowling is not the only person that ever worked on on Harry Potter, and it's a spit in the face of everyone that worked hard on this game.
Yeah, my take is if you want to dislike J.K. Rowling for any reason, that's fine. If you don't want to buy the game because you don't agree with her politics or whatever, that's perfectly fine. That is your right as a citizen, and I am A-okay with that. But what I don't agree with is you lambasting people. Like, I have literally had trans people, like my trans friends, literally come to me and say that they're buying Hogwarts Legacy, and they're literally afraid to say that they are because of fear of backlash.
Yeah,
I've had like this is actual things that my trans friends have said to me.
Yeah, and the narrative has been it's violence against trans people if you buy this game. Violence. I've seen that on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, it's just a freaking game, people.
And it's like people, and you know the worst part is
what
I really feel like J.K. Rowling's personal thoughts on trans people aren't really as bad as people make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really feel like if she met a trans person, she'd be perfectly polite and cordial. Like I really don't really. I feel like I don't know. But yeah, it's bad, you know. Like, but on a side note, this is like the best marketing that this game could have hoped for.
Again, outrage marketing. Jheat, what do you think?
it's just a lot of craziness right now. A lot of hate watching, a lot of hate gaming. I think this is just a lot of bad trends going around.
Yeah, you know my stance on hate watching. No hate watching.
Yeah.
So what do you guys thoughts on this Hogwarts Legacy thing? Sound down in the comments below. So next up is what I'm going to dub Jared's weekly Halo news, because
Yeah. So as you guys may probably saw, unless you were living under a rock, there was like a lot of layoffs at Microsoft, a lot of it around 343. Now, 343 has since posted saying that they're still the developer of Halo and everything. Chief's not going anywhere. The thing is though, this already shorthands a very, very, very shorthanded studio, because for those of you that don't know, Microsoft put this mass hiring freeze. So 343, part of the reason why Halo Infinite had such a rocky development phase was because they hired a bunch of contractors, and then the people would contract out and then leave. In other words, you didn't have a consistent hand at the wheel for the entire Halo Infinite development cycle and post-launch development cycle. So this just makes it infinitely harder for 343 because the hiring. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I just realized that. So it makes it infinitely harder on 343 because the hiring freeze is still in effect. So they can't exactly hire more people that will at least make the situation great. However, the one source of optimism is that the person now in charge of managing Halo, I believe his name is like Pierre or something like that, but he was the one who fixed MCC, who led the effort to fix the Master Chief Collection. Because for those of you that don't know, that game launched in such a bad state. Like,
did it
really
take them like 2 or 3 years to get into a playable state?
Yeah, but now it's the preferred Halo experience. It's like when people were down on Halo Infinite, they would say, "Well, there's always MCC. I could play that because with MCC you have all of the Halo games, all of the maps from like the PC version. In other words, it's everything Halo in one spot." And what they're doing is they're going to add an update that's going to add the demo mission from the original Halo 2 demo that they did at E3. So they're basically making this game a one-stop shop for everything Halo, and it's super fun. I love it.
So I guess you could say they've been really reaching for the stars.
Oh my gosh, Nick! But anyway,
they are quite the guardians, aren't they?
Yeah, but the thing is that at this point, yeah, I know. Thank you. But at this point, I'm wondering if there is any more saving Halo Infinite, because yeah, I mean, it's still at a state where fans are like, what? But what I think the best option for them to do to restore confidence, or at least put more consumer confidence in the brand, is to announce that we're fast tracking split screen co-op. Because for those that don't know, they originally had that in the plans for Infinite. It didn't go with launch. They said, "Oh, we'll do it later," and then they did, and then they said we can't do split screen co-op. But I'm like, you should go into it.
You didn't get the most embarrassing part. People were able to glitch themselves.
Oh yeah, people. They said we couldn't get the code to work, and then modders. Well, not even modders. It's a glitch that you can do on the menu. Glitchers were like, "What do you mean split screen doesn't work? It's right here."
We couldn't get the code to work. Glitchers prove well, that was a lie.
Just flip the on switch on. That's all you have to do.
To be fair, I watched a Digital Foundry video where they like kind of went in depth about the whole thing. It's not perfect. Like it's pretty good, but like there are some stuff about it where like if you tried to do it mass market, it wouldn't really wouldn't work. Like, but for a glitch, it works really well. That's the best thing you can say about it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, it's not perfect, but it proves that it's easier to implement. It's easier to implement than 343 is letting on, and that itself is the story of 343's development. It's either broken promises or lies. That's really what it is.
So are you saying that they're just flooding people with lies?
Oh my gosh, Nick. Yes, they're flooding people with lies. They sit on a throne of lies.
Well, something. For me, their throne is pretty squishy and smelly, but that's beside the point. So speaking of
yeah.
Let's get on to the main topic, and this is kind of one that I want to spend a little bit of time on, kind of really dig deep into it. So, kind of get comfy, everyone. This is a big one. So, basically, you have this game called Forspoken coming out, And yeah, we even get our own dedicated tab to it. Thank you, Jared.
No problem.
And yeah, so Jared, can you fill people in on kind of like where basically kind of get people up to speed on what's going on, kind of thing?
All right, so Forspoken's launching. It's on the Xbox. No, it's on like PlayStation 5 or something like that. But the thing is that okay, so first they did a demo that fans hated. Like they were like, this game sucks. So that was their first thing. Then you see like the actual gameplay of the game. The thing about it is that the writing is horrible. And second off, the facial animations look like PlayStation 2 to 3 quality, not PlayStation 5. And the thing is, I've seen PlayStation 5 games that look amazing.
I would hope it's PlayStation 5. Also, that's kind of an insult to PS2 or 5 games, PS2 or 3 games, because remember, Half-Life 2 came out in 2004. That's like, so
or
like,
Arkham. But here's the interesting thing. I just saw another piece of criticism that's actually not like legitimate. And Eric July did a video about it. It was someone wrote in there that because the main character is African American, the game should have made race the main focus of the story. And then Eric July says, actually, it's a point in this game's favor that it was just okay. The character happens to be African American. It doesn't make any difference to the story.
Honestly, I kind of like, you can kind of time your watch these kind of.
Yeah, you can.
Like, it's the fact that race, like we need, honestly, we need more characters who, for example, Alex Vance, from I mentioned Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
He's a companion who is black and who is considered one of the best video game companions ever. And she's just a really great character, really great female character who her race, her gender doesn't define her. She's just a really good character.
Sergeant Johnson in Halo. In fact, he's one of the most beloved Halo characters of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's the one point in this game's favor that even surprised me. I was like, okay, thank you for not making race the defining character of the defining characteristic of the character.
All right, so we're back, and we'll awkward cut later. So, Jared, where were you?
I was just saying that, I was just saying there are some legit massive criticisms about this game. It's like the writing is horrible because I watched a clip last night and all that, but it's just the facial animations that get me, because if you're on a system like the PlayStation 5, your characters better look hyper realistic and not like plastic dolls. I'm sorry, that just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're doing some sort of like retro throwback kind of thing where like the art style is specifically supposed to evoke certain things, then yeah. Jheat, what's your kind of thoughts on the whole like race shield defense kind of thing?
I mean, I would have been better off if we had gotten a playable Batman DLC.
Oh, we're talking about Forspoken.
Yeah, Forspoken.
Oh, Forspoken. Oh, just I was talking about with Jared earlier. I just feel like the dialogue is too quippy. Like it's trying to. Am I making sense?
Yeah. Like they're trying to do like Marvel dialogue kind of thing.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's an original IP, and I respect it as such, but I don't really think it's going to kick off. Again, that's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, like honestly, we've been kind of getting like a rash of these games where it's like they're like Babylon's Fall, like Callisto Protocol, like a lot of these games where it's like they're trying to make new IPs, but they look generic and they just don't really grab me. And it's kind of been, kind of a thing where it's like, I don't really care. But there's also another wrinkle to the story that I think is very telling. So usually when a game is released, review copies will be sent to game journalists few weeks, month, a certain amount of time before the release. That's pretty much standard practice. So the reviewers can finish the game, get the review out, and have it ready day of release. That's just how it's done. And so basically what you have, what they've been doing is they've actually withheld review copies before until before, and this is actually this happens from time to time, and it's usually an indication that whether they withhold review copies or they have what's called a review embargo, to where like, hey, we'll give you the game, but you can't post your review until a certain date. Like they did that with Cyberpunk. Like there was a review embargo to like 6:00 the next day on Cyberpunk. And usually, but not always, these are indicators that a publisher is not feeling confident.
Yeah, and I can tell why. After seeing the product, I'm like, yeah, I can tell why you wouldn't be confident in the product.
Now, the Netflix tie-in series did give Cyberpunk some momentum, but yeah, that initial launch did a lot of damage.
Well, yeah, basically, Cyberpunk is probably the second game to fix itself. You know, like No Man's Sky being the poster child for it. But basically, we're kind of seeing. We'll kind of talk about that. That's a separate kind of thing. But like, I'm going to kind of reel it back here. See, we're kind of in a catch-22 when it comes to game development, where it's like people say we want more original IPs, we don't want sequels and reboots, but these companies are producing games that aren't really compelling enough to grab people, and so it's giving the wrong message to these developers. Like, oh, we made these original IPs, but you don't want them, so you know, blah blah blah. It's like
and the funny thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
It reminds me back of the Wii U days, where it's like all these companies would make half-ass ports to the Wii U, and then they don't underperform. And they're like, "Oh, see, that's why we don't support the Wii U, because they underperform." And that's my one.
Sonic.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that, Nick, is that even when they make tie-ins like IPs, like a lot of DC games recently, they're still giving a half-ass effort. So it's not like we're getting better with the known IP.
I'd actually say we've gotten a lot better, because anyone who lived during like the the movie tie-in days of like NES, Super Nintendo,
Superman 64.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
Why did you? Why?
Spoilers. But yeah, like there was like everything got a tie-in, but now we're kind of in an era where they kind of take their time with these games. They give them their just desserts, and I feel like it's much better for it. Because like trust me, if you lived during the PS2 or PS3 days, there was some crap that came out.
Yeah, trust me, it wasn't that much better on the Xbox.
Yeah, some of those movie tie-ins were really bad. But yeah, Forspoken. I mean, the issue's probably going to get even worse, because like we record these on a Monday. You guys are seeing this on a Wednesday, so like who knows? The issue could be even worse by then. So yeah. If there's anything more that kind of comes out, we'll maybe put out a little edit kind of a description of this video. So yeah, like, do you guys want more original IPs, or are you just happy kind of with the reboot? Like, what's your kind of take on all this? Make sure to sound off in the comments below.
I would actually prefer original IPs, because then you're establishing more creativity.
True.
That's my opinion.
You don't have that crutch.
I would agree. I mean, some IPs I don't mind endless sequels for, like Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda is one of those series where every time the game comes out, it's like a big event,
True, but the thing is, Nick, is that occasionally, like they apply the Disney Star Wars philosophy, where they're like, it doesn't matter with the quality as long as it says Star Wars or DC or Marvel, people will buy
that's
it.
the approach that I don't want. Like there's certain companies like Bethesda, Rockstar, when they release a new entry in, it is literally a big deal. Like GTA 6.
There is such thing as being too big to fail.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I mean, I've heard that, but like I feel like I don't know. Nothing is above reproach nowadays.
So if we're moving on from Forspoken, there's one topic that I want to just pop in here, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, sure.
So what do you guys think about Avengers ceasing support?
Oh, I mean that was kind of inevitable. Like
It was.
they botched the release. They tried to make an honest go of it. Like they released the DLCs. It just none of it really caught on.
What's interesting is that what they're doing now is that they said that sometime in March, I think it's March, end of March is when they officially end support, and then and I think August is when they actually cut off. But in March, they're going to make everything in the store for free.
I mean,
like,
you know.
But the thing about it, here was the problem. Here was their first ding. They didn't at least make the characters look similar, at least in costume, to the MCU actors. You didn't have to use the likenesses of like Thor, of like Chris Evans and like Hemsworth. They should have at least made the costumes look a little closer to it. I think that if the costumes looked like them more instead of like cheap airsoft knockoffs, I think people would have had a less violent reaction.
I don't really have a problem with the costumes. You know, like the criticism of the likeness, it's kind of been out of their hands, so I give them some leeway for that. But like they could have always done the Gotham Knights route and have like DLC costumes. Like imagine a costume pack where you can buy the MCU costumes.
And the other problem, and this is why it's also called the Kamala Khan game, because they focused on a character that hasn't like latched on with the general audience in the comics. Here's the thing: in an Avengers game, it should have been about the Avengers, not Kamala Khan.
I would argue the game's biggest sin is trying to be live service.
Yes.
I feel like there is a good game buried in there. A generic game, but
good.
Yeah, like I feel like if it didn't have the live service and it just had like that storyline, because like those cutscenes looked really good and the gameplay looked pretty interesting. I feel like if they would have kept with the Uncharted, you know, walking kind of thing, you know, combat, it probably would have been a pretty like maybe slightly forgettable, but otherwise decent.
And let me put it this way. I've been a defender of this game since it was released. I enjoyed it, except for the live service. So yeah, if it were not for that live service component, the game would have been at least a little better. But the other problem is that when they added in characters, because the only one where they actually added in another campaign or like somewhere like levels was Black Panther. The other times, it's like when they add like the Winter Soldier or Lady Thor, they just have like a motion comic cutscene and that's it. There's no other like missions or anything like that.
So Jheat, you had a question you wanted to ask us?
Yes. What do you think is worse, the Gotham Knights game or the Avengers game?
Avengers, definitely.
Gotham Knights at least tried to like. I think it had a more cohesive experience,
and it had a better story too.
Yeah, I feel like Gotham Knights better communicated what it was. I think Avengers was a game that even they didn't know what they were.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it is that they had like one of the, as opposed to Gotham Knights, they had one of the biggest like cushions, if you will, because Avengers in an MCU world. Are you kidding me? They shouldn't have bumbled that so bad.
Yeah. They shouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sad that like for a time we thought like they were gonna build up a video game cinematic universe because like in Spider-Man PS4, when you take a picture of Avengers Tower, he says, "Oh, they're in San Francisco."
Yeah,
you know, I thought like, "Oh," and then it was revealed that Spider-Man was gonna be exclusive to Sony. It's like, "Oh, they're gonna tie in these games together." Like,
but the thing is, Nick, is that in the story for the Spider-Man DLC, it's confirmed that that's not the same Spider-Man.
Yeah, they don't even use Yuri Lowenthal as a voice actor.
I know. And that's the other thing, is that they did confirm that Spider-Man is going to stay a PlayStation 4 exclusive. I'm like, what's the difference now? Just do it. But and they did confirm that that you can still play the game and you can still play multiplayer. That's not going away for the foreseeable future. They just won't do any patches or anything like that.
I give it 2 years tops, honestly.
Yeah, which is sad.
Maybe,
I will
yeah.
say though, it had one of the best collector's editions I've ever gotten because it has the Cap statue, the Thor bobblehead. Each Avenger had an item that like represented them. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I like that.
Nice.
As a guy who gets all the collector's editions for the big games and get
So
one for
since
Gotham.
you're adding topics, I got one more I want to throw in the pile. Stadia. The closure of Stadia.
Oh yeah, you saw
That's
the gamers
still around.
video.
So what do you like when you mentioned them making it free, I thought of how Stadia released an update for their controllers so that now they can be used as generic Bluetooth controllers. I thought and also they're refunding anyone who bought games. I'm like, okay, Stadia was crappy, but give them some props for those two things. I think that was
Avengers is not even doing that. They're not even giving you refunds if you bought like costumes and stuff. Now that they're giving them away for free.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Stadia is even still a thing. I thought they'd been died off.
They were for a while, but I think that they finally just took it out in the back of the shed and just shot in the head at this point.
Oh, they went all Yeller on it.
Yeah, they went all Yeller. Because here's the thing, though. Here's the problem with Stadia, is that it's in a world where if you're playing these games, you could just play them on your console for streaming. It doesn't. It's a redundant service when you have the ability to let me put it this way. I could hop off this podcast right now. I don't have Stadia and just go onto my Xbox and download a game from Xbox without the Stadia thing.
There are two things that killed two big things. I mean, there's a bunch of things, but the two big things were the service itself, which the problem is in America, we don't have consistent internet.
Yeah.
So if you live in a city or a suburban area, you probably have pretty decent internet. But anywhere outside of a city, and it gets really bad. There are people in the U.S. whose only choice is dial-up still.
Yeah, my cousin lives in a very rural area, and she has really crappy internet.
Yeah, and so a video game streaming service just cannot work in the U.S. at this time. Now, in the future, who knows? The other really big problem is it's a digital streaming service that wanted you to buy the games. See, this is why the big reason why xCloud is working while Stadia did not. xCloud, people want a Netflix of gaming, and by that they mean they boot up the service. They say, "Oh, I want to play Arkham City." Click on it. They boot and go up and play the game. They pay a monthly fee and they get access to these games. That's what they want. Game Pass with xCloud delivers that. And that's why it's the only service that actually is having some measure of success, because Microsoft knows what people want.
For those speaking of Netflix of gaming, who here remembers GameFly?
Oh.
I used to do that.
Who remembers On Live?
I don't.
By the way, GameFly still exists, Jared.
Yeah, I know, but it used to be bigger, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So who remembers On Live? It was it was
I
basically
do.
Stadia 10 years prior.
Really? Wow.
Yep,
What's
early
funny
2000s.
is the tech for On Live basically was bought up by Sony, and it was actually used for PlayStation Now.
Yep.
I just kind of wanted to share that little anecdote. But yeah, everyone's saying digital's the future, streaming. I mean, I don't know. I'm a physical person. I really feel I don't know. I feel like it's not as certain for me because it could be digital only, but at the same time, I kind of feel like as time goes on and more of these services shut down, we're gonna see more of a push back to physical.
Oh yeah, because here's the thing, and we're seeing that more in the comics because Comixology just shut down. But the thing is that when you have because here's the big difference: we see a lot of companies going back and editing their old stuff on streaming or doing updates. Where if you have the physical disc, granted, unlike the newer consoles, where you have to install and get updates, that's different. But for the most part, I think there's a little more security in having the actual disc as opposed to like having as opposed to just downloading it.
See, the problem is while for music and movies that works, but for video games, like video game disc and cartridges are almost always more installers. Like the base game you have on there is not really playable usually nowadays. Or sometimes, because like I'm a Switch gamer and like I got to be really careful because there's Switch games where it's like for example, BioShock, the BioShock collection for Switch. All it has is the intro to all 3 games on the cart. You can't even play even one full game.
Wow.
Or Spiral Reignited Trilogy. I think it has one of the games, and then you download the rest of them. Trying to think. There's a lot of these games where it's very partial download, and it's like, what's even the point?
Exactly.
I honestly feel like you can't stream in gaming the way you could TV shows and movies. It's a different mechanic.
It's a different way of going about it because streaming music and movies is like a one-way thing versus like gaming is like it's kind of like a three-way process where it's like they send it to you, you push a button, they send that back to the server, and then it's like, so there's 3 transfers versus Netflix. It's like ping, home, like 1, maybe 2 at the most. So yeah, I think that's we pretty much exhausted those topics.
Yeah, it's a good news.
Let's get ranking, shall we?
So, yes. So we're doing our tier list now. I'm not going to have the thing up because it blocks the view. So I believe we're doing comic book gaming, right?
Yes. So before we start, I wanted to go over the tiers. So we have GOAT, which is greatest of all time. Good, meh, crap, mega crap.
Was that a J. Jonah Jameson reference?
It is.
I knew that.
All right, so we'll basically go through these games and discuss where we think we'll go, and then we'll put them on the tiers. I have final say, so there may be some upsets, but yeah. So let's start with Turtles in Time.
I've never played.
What do you guys think?
I never played it, so it's you guys.
I say good because I have good memories of that game.
Yeah, I would personally put it at GOAT, but like I hear what you're saying, but like I have like a lot of personal memories with that game, playing that game with friends, so yeah.
The next one is mega crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even a question. We're not even going to debate that.
I would say for X-Men, put that in GOAT.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really played it myself. So
because of what it influenced, because we got Ultimate Alliance because of that.
Hulk Ultimate Destruction is definitely a GOAT game.
Yep.
I don't think we, Oh, Jared.
GOAT.
I don't know. It's a good game.
It makes fun of so much stuff.
Yeah, but like a GOAT game is literally iconic. It's
all right.
Creme de la creme. Like, I think Turtles in Time should be GOAT, but
all right.
We got Scout Pilgrim versus the World.
Never played it.
I'm gonna upset some people, and I'm gonna say meh. Like, okay, there's gonna be some angry typing keyboard people.
They're already typing right now. We can hear you through the recording.
All right, so Guardians of the Galaxy.
Good.
What do you
think?
Good
or go, whichever one.
I said May.
GOAT.
I said May.
It's gonna be meh. Our ultimate number 3. I'm gonna say
Capcom 3. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
And then Avengers. I think. Come on.
Yeah, GOAT. That goes in GOAT. I was about to say there better not be a debate on that one. That redeems the movie. Hey! You put that in mega crap.
Wait, what?
He put X-Men Origins in mega crap. Put it back in GOAT. And same thing for DC Online.
Oh, DC goes in mega crap. But no, actually, I'll put.
I can compromise on good. Why meh?
Because like it's not terrible, but like
Aquaman. There was an
They
Aquaman
literally
game.
said Deadpool.
Yeah.
There's an Aquaman game?
Okay, this one is
Yeah.
not a debate. This one is not a debate.
Yeah.
Now you're really pissing people off, Nick.
No, but this Arkham is definitely a GOAT game. City of Heroes MMO GOAT. All right, Avengers.
Meh. Oh, jeez, Nick, come on. You do realize that it technically, since you're on my StreamYard, I can boot you. Yeah. You can put in meh.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Put that in GOAT. You better put Spider-Man 2 in GOAT.
It has
Good
aged
to
a
be
little
compromised.
bit. The game has aged a little bit. It's still good, but it's aged a little bit. It's a little bit rough.
The PS4 Spider-Man game goes in GOAT. Do you want me to boot you?
All right. Ultimate Alliance, I'm going to put in the good category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Spider-Man. This is like borderline between good and mad. Like it's really.
Is that the comic one or the movie one?
That's a PS1 version.
Okay.
Like it's borderline. It is like borderline good meh. Arkham Origins is definitely a meh game.
All right. I think it was Arkham City has to go in the GOAT, dude.
No.
Where's the boot button? I'm gonna.
All right, so this one is yeah.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's GOAT. It's Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I've never played the Spawn game.
I'd say good.
Actually, no, it's crap.
That one is good. Put that at least in good because of how it did a Superman game. How it handled like the health system. That one goes in crap. Okay, now I'm definitely not letting you host on my StreamYard anymore.
That's one of the few DCU games.
Yeah, yeah. Why did you put? I would move Arkham Origins to good.
It's kind of the bad Arkham game.
How about at least move Superman Returns up one because that game was handled being Superman really well.
I don't know. I feel like the good and GOAT is a little bit weighed, honestly.
Well, most of these games you picked were actually good games, so.
All right. Any other disagreements? Like, I really feel like Superman 64 is GOAT.
All right. If you leave it there, I'm not going to actually let you host on my StreamYard.
I would just watch when I export this. Like these are going to be shuffled around a little bit, and I'm going to put Superman 64 in the GOAT category. Just literally,
it'll be the only GOAT game.
What about Arkham Knight?
No, I don't have the pictures for him.
If it were there, I would put it in good. Honestly, it's limited, but I think it's good.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a subtle art, like.
If it were Ultimate Alliance 2, I would put that in good too because of how it did the Civil War story. What are you doing? You're screwing it. Just want to let you guys know, Comics League does not endorse this list. That is entirely Phoenix Press going rogue. Hence, which is why it's his logo in the top. I may have to make a Twitter apology for this list.
Okay, so I'm gonna post this, and then later today, I'm going to
change it.
I'm gonna change it to what it actually is. I'm just gonna do this as a troll for now. But no. I've got them downloaded. So let me you're
Fix it. Fix it. Super duper nice. You should put that. You should label it the worst ranking ever.
Oh, frick you. Actually, no, I got one more left. Fuck you.
Oh, bloody hell.
All right.
Thank you, Constantine.
All right. So basically, for this video game one, I instituted a 2 swear words per stream rule.
Crap.
That's not one though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here is the actual tier list. What do you guys think?
I like it. It's pretty. It's better than the one you just downloaded.
It's actually like pretty symmetrical. It's crazy how symmetrical
it looks like a staircase.
Stairway to heaven, maybe.
Stairway to heaven. But it definitely, I think, yeah, it's fine. It definitely shows that most superhero games have been at the most meh. I mean, least meh, but at most great.
So, GOAT is like has to be like iconic, kind of thing. Arkham Asylum, I feel like it's overshadowed by Arkham City. So that's why Arkham Asylum got booted down.
But you gotta put X-Men Origins on GOAT because that literally redeemed the. Yeah, I know it literally redeemed the movie.
Right, I'm trying to like go over this.
I still think DC Universe Online should be at least in good.
Well, guys, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you on the next show.
All right.
So Jheat's kind of going, and then let's kind of wrap this thing up with our fun and games section.
Yeah, so I got a meme, and I've arranged it on my screen in the proper way, which I think may become a regular thing. That we might as well just make this the way the memes are presented now.
I am not opposed to that.
So, game developers, we have over 80 hours of gameplay speedrunners. No, there's actually only 3.
Yeah, like honestly, it really amazes me like what speedrunners can do to a game. It's crazy.
So someone made through. I think I saw someone got through like the entire MCC in like an hour and a half.
I can believe it.
I'm like, the hell?
Yeah, there's people who can beat games in like 15 minutes. It's like they're just these game breaking glitches that like it's like allow you to just skip to straight to the end of the game. It's crazy. And then there's stuff called like arbitrary code execution, where like there's like I remember watching the Summer Games Done Quick thing where they're playing Super Mario World, and then all of a sudden it became Pong, and it was done in game because basically it's a way where you're in game, you're literally hacking the game. It's something similar in Ocarina of Time. Like, are you familiar with like Ocarina of Time? It's like a
little bit, yeah.
Did you know that if you do input a Game Shark, you can actually battle an R-Wing?
Really?
Yeah, it's a thing that's in the game. But yeah, so hey Jared, why are cats so good at video games?
Why?
Because they have 9 lives.
Wow. These are getting worse and worse.
Why do they call it the PS4?
Why?
Because there are only 4 games we're playing.
Yeah, suck it, PlayStation people.
Why does Steve stay in shape?
Why?
He runs around the block.
Wow.
Is your PS4 is your Xbox 360 running?
Yes. What?
You better go catch it. What do you get when you cross Sonic the Hedgehog and Curious George?
What?
Too fast, too curious. What does a guy with erectile dysfunction and the PlayStation Network have in common?
What?
They both have trouble getting things back up. Okay, this was written by an Xbox fanboy. I can tell.
Yes, thank you.
What do you say when you lose a Nintendo game?
What?
I want a Wii match. What is Sonic the Hedgehog's favorite season?
What?
Spring.
No, just of course.
Who's faster, Sonic the Hedgehog or a Japanese bullet train?
I don't know.
Bullet train, of course. Sonic doesn't actually exist.
Nice.
What game do you play after eating Taco Bell?
The toilet.
Fart night.
Otherwise known as Fortnite.
What's 10 blocks long and has never had sex?
A PlayStation gamer.
The line for the new Call of Duty game.
That's even better than my punchline.
What does Sonic use to knock on a door?
What?
Knuckles. How do you get a Bulbasaur on a bus?
What?
You Pokemon.
Wow. These are getting worse and worse.
Okay, this one is actually kind of nasty. What did Princess Zelda eat for breakfast?
Oh no.
A sausage link.
Oh my gosh.
PS4 got injured and Xbox One is calling the ambulance. Wii U, Wii U, Wii U, Wii U.
Well, the PS4 is always getting injured because Sony can't make a quality product.
What did Laura eat for dinner?
What?
Croft macaroni and cheese.
Wow.
And then here's the last one. Why is a Jedi Knight never lonely?
Why?
Because the Force is always with them.
Yeah, nice.
I figure that's a good one to end things on. So, yeah, what do you guys think of today's episode? I think it went pretty well. Special thanks to Jheat. So we have Forspoken. This is the way. Jared, any of your final thoughts?
Well, this wasn't a very interesting episode with really bad puns, but
Always.
yeah. And by the way, if you guys give heat to me for being an Xbox gamer, bring it on. But in terms of like the topics we discussed, yeah, there's a lot of laziness in game development nowadays, I feel, and there's a lot of like people that really should just get a job instead of like bashing people for wanting to play a specific game, making people afraid to tell people that they're gonna buy a game. I'm like, no, you guys need a job.
Why don't you just get a job?
Because you don't have to agree. You can disagree with what J.K. Rowling said 100% and still play the game and be fine, because she's not the only person who worked. It's another thing if you don't want to read her books. Okay, that's fine, because pretty much only her worked on those. But it's a slap in the face to everyone that worked their hardest for years to make this
if you
game.
don't want to buy the game, that is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying if you disagree with her and you don't want to buy the game because of your politics or principles or morals, more power to you. Like, honestly. But to say other people can't, that's a level of tyranny that I will not accept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really stupid.
Okay, so we record these on a Monday and they go live on Wednesday. This Wednesday, we will be having a Super Split Screen Bros live special event, an extra special event, where Jared will not be able to attend because he's a responsible adult and he'll be working. So I will be joined by DC Comics Gamer. We're going to watch the Xbox broadcast. We're going to, respond live to it. A link to that will be in the description below. It's already live on the channel, even as we're recording this. So sorry you can't attend. You're adulting. I respect that. So yeah, this was a pretty good episode in my opinion.
It was fun.
And so yeah, this has been Nick from the Peens Press and
Jared from Comics League. Yes, thank you.
And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the one who has to walk through it.
Stay heroic.